This is the K95.3 Sports Show podcast, brought to you by the Fan Zone in Wilmer's Candy Mall.
Welcome to the K95.3 Sports Show podcast. My name is Bo Stanfus. I am your host. Please, if you like what you hear, please hit the subscribe button. If you're on your cell phone listening, hit the bell button. That'll give you notifications sent straight to your phone every time I release a new episode on Wednesday. Also, thank you to the Fan Zone for sponsoring the K95.3 Sports Show podcast. We appreciate you guys doing that. Also, I'd like to announce that with the holidays coming up and me just taking some time off, I'll be doing something a little bit different for the podcast. Next Wednesday morning, the 26th, somewhere between 10 and 11, depends when my lazy butt wakes up and gets showered and gets going. But I will be doing a live YouTube broadcast on the channel from my Viking room. For those that don't know me, I have a large room in my basement, walls painted, tons of Viking stuff. So not only will I review the Vikings-Lions game and do the Vikings-Bears game preview, I will also give you a tour of all the awesome stuff I have in my basement in my Viking room. I'll also be doing that again on Tuesday, January 1st, not on Wednesday, but Tuesday, January 1st, at around that same time period, I'll be going live again in my Viking room. So make sure you either check out those episodes after they're done, or if you can jump in when you're live, I think we can talk back and forth. You can make comments. Let's have some fun with it for something that's a little bit different. Also, please continue to email me your Mount Rushmore of Vikings players at k953sportsshow@gmail.com. As usual, I want this to be a community-based podcast. I want anybody who in the Wilmer area who loves sports and loves to talk sports to have a potential to be on the show. And that's one way for you to potentially be on the show is to send me your Mount Rushmore of Vikings players. Let's get into our guests. I brought in my brother-in-law, DJ. Welcome, DJ.
Thank you.
And we got a first-timer, and actually one of DJ's very good friends, Matt Grund. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for coming in and being on your first podcast. DJ and I had been waiting to get you on here. I know you're a little busier in the fall with work and everything else, so I'm glad you could make it this time.
Oh, yeah. Glad to be here.
Awesome. So let's get right into it. Wow, what a difference an offensive coordinator in 1 week can do for the Vikings, huh, guys?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, no kidding there.
So let's go into one of the biggest differences. We were like, hey, we've got this awesome, fast, hard-to-tackle running back. Let's give him the ball. What a crazy concept.
Never would have saw that one coming.
Yeah, no, exactly. So you got Cook. Here you go, Cook, 19 carries, 136 yards, 7.2 average. Beautiful.
Yes, definitely beautiful.
Beautiful game. It was fun to watch him. The spin move he did on his second touchdown, amazing. I wanted him to do a spin move earlier in the. I was playing Madden in my head when he had that one long run, and he was getting cornered on the sideline. I was like, spin. He didn't, and he got tackled. But still, he did get a spin later in the game, and it was a beautiful spin. Obviously you saw with Cook. What do you think was the main difference in the run game with Cook this last Sunday? Matt, go ahead.
They just allowed him the opportunities. It's something we haven't really seen much this season. I mean, 19 carries. Yeah. Has he had that much all season?
Yeah, I'll say doubled his carries on the year.
I mean, you're going to see more production from a guy like that. If he gets the touches, he's going to make it worth your while.
No, I definitely agree with that. But also, just having Cousins going under center and actually running the ball from single back, strong, weak.
Two tight ends.
David Morgan being back definitely helped.
That was huge.
Yeah, that's different formations.
None of this RPO, the run-pass option, none of that. Cousins can scramble, but it's not his style.
Yeah.
I mean, none of that. I mean, maybe last year with Keenum, but this year is definitely better with Stefanski in at offensive coordinator. We'll see how he does coming up against Detroit. See what he does.
Yeah, no, it's, obviously, we and I'm not going to stand here and pretend that the Dolphins have some great defense. I'm not stupid, and none of us are. But the fact that we took advantage of their bad defense for once is what makes a difference. People keep pointing that out. Oh, just bad defense. But yeah, But we scored 41 points on a bad defense.
Definitely.
Did what we're supposed to do against a bad defense.
Exactly.
You know they're bad against the run, exploit it.
Exactly. 3 weeks ago, we would have maybe put up 21 points because we just didn't know how to exploit their defense. And to be honest, people have talked about Cousins and not beating any team over 500. This team was over 500. Yes, they were 7-6, but they had beaten the Patriots the week before, and they beat the Bears earlier in the season. Yep. So they had beaten more over 500 teams than we had, and then we beat them. So everybody needs to back off on it was just an easy matchup. Yeah. We dominated. And a lot of it had to do with the run. If you take away a couple of the one Cousin scramble and a couple of his, second one, third and ones push forward the pile, the team as a whole averaged 6.28 yards per carry outside of Cousins, because Cousins brought it down because he had like 5 carries for 7 yards. So even Murray was getting out there with his great stiff arm on his touchdown. And I hope that as the next couple of games go, that yes, we still push the running game, but we don't, if it's not working, we don't keep trying to stop it. We do still have a great passer in Cousins, so don't be afraid to drop back to that if running absolutely is not working. But we definitely need to keep running as the games go along. Do you agree with that, Matt?
Absolutely. You need to maintain that balance on offense. If you don't have a running game going, give the pass game a try, but you still got to put a run in here or there.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, you definitely can't go away. I mean, they were showing stats from Sunday about between this year and last year. Last year it was like 49 to 51% for run and pass. This year it's 33 to 67. So I mean, it's definitely. Last year was definitely. You need to keep that balance in your offense.
Yeah, and we definitely. I believe we were the lowest. We had the lowest amount of rush attempts as a team. Yeah. I believe that was going into that game. So, and once again, we went. And that's what a good offensive coordinator who knows how to call plays. Even though this was literally his first time
in
calling
a regular
plays,
season game.
Yeah, but you saw the difference. He knew what our personnel was, and that's what I talked about last week. Is the problems were the O-line, the offensive coordinator, and then maybe Cousins third. But if you have a bad O-line, you can have a coordinator who knows how to game plan and who knows how to play calls that can make up for the lack of O-line protection. Yeah. And that's what we saw on Sunday.
Especially like last year. Shermer did that. We lost a few pieces from last year, but it's pretty much the same O-line. He masked, with his play calls, he masked the offensive line's problems. Yep. No, I agree. So, that's so far, obviously it's been one game, but it looked good from Stefanski's. It take me forever to say his name right. I always want to say it differently, but so I have it on here, literally spelled Steph and ski. so I know I say it right. So he did a great job on it. What were your overall thoughts then, Matt, on Stefanski?
I just like that we got at the running game. I think he's probably gelling well with Zimmer right now. I know Zimmer, that defensive-minded coach, he's going to love to see run first to set up the pass.
Yep.
So he did it.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Run first, especially against defenses. It wears them down throughout the game. You definitely saw that, especially going up the middle. It's gonna be tough this next week with Damon Harrison at Detroit.
Snacks.
Yes.
But with Delvin Cook and Latavius Murray,
Yeah, and I will point that some part of improvement for Stefanski to do is, if most teams, they work out the first 20 plays of the game.
Right. Yep.
That was essentially our first 3 touchdowns.
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely.
Then we had like a 2-quarter lull.
Yep.
And then we picked it back up in the fourth quarter and did. So I mean, even though Sunday's game we scored 41 points, if you ask me, our offense still only played really 2 quarters.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So right there's an improvement, is get past the 20 plays, is to still be able to make good play calls after you get those 20 plays that you've practiced all week on.
Yeah, those scripted plays.
Yeah, exactly, scripted plays. But also the defense, once again, had a great game. Defensive line, especially with the 9 sacks.
Yes.
11 quarterback hits. You take away their drive for 3 points in that fluke 75-yard run.
Yep.
I mean, it would have been almost dominating on the defensive side. It was nice to see the defensive line getting more pressure. It was nice to see Barr doing stuff.
Yes, definitely.
I still don't think we signed him in the offseason. I think he's gone.
Unfortunately.
I agree with you there, Bo.
Yeah, because I think Wilson has filled in well for him when he's been injured. We'll see what kind of money he demands. That might be the difference.
Yeah, that's the difference. You can definitely tell our defense is a different defense when Barr is out there and healthy. That's another reason why, if we don't re-sign him, that's one reason. He hasn't been. I don't think he has played a full season.
Yeah.
Since he was drafted, he is definitely a difference playmaker. You saw it Sunday, with his 2 sacks. Or in how many quarterback hurries did he have? 3.
Yeah, he was.
He was all over the place.
Everywhere that game. It was nice. And he lived in the backfield.
Yes, he did.
So the defense overall did well. The coverage was great. What were some of your favorite parts of the defensive game, Matt?
Well, after that 75-yard run to open up the second half, I think our defense held them to something crazy like 30 yards of offense after that run.
That probably sounds about right.
It was like 35 yards of offense after that long run. I mean, we just gave up one fluke in which Zimmer actually took responsibility for. He blamed it on himself, and the defense shut it down from that point. Yeah,
no, you could tell because we blitzed on the offensive left side, and they ran to the offensive right side.
Yep.
And that just happens.
Right.
Yep.
That's just guessing wrong.
Yeah.
and any coach can do that.
That's the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. Where you're blitzing and they do a screen, and there's just like 2 people, and it's yards ahead of them. And so that just happens. And yeah, I do like that Zimmer's like, hey, I screwed up.
That was me.
Yeah, that was my bad, guys. Come on. So yeah, the defense definitely stepping up and continue doing what they're doing compared to the beginning of the year, turning it around, making it totally different. And I feel the offense could be that same way, making it simpler, not doing the stuff that we don't need to do to win games.
Yes.
And I think that's what Stefanski is going to do. And so let's get into Cousins a little bit here. Cousins' game, it was solid. I mean, we didn't need him to do a lot.
Nope.
Yeah, he played the role of game manager. That's all we really needed.
Yeah, and I have no problem with that. He made some great throws still and made some key throws when he needed to. I like the rolling out again.
Yes,
Yep.
definitely.
Absolutely.
That's his bread and butter right there. That's where he's at his best, is when he's doing those bootlegs, the play actions, and all that.
Yeah, no, it's it definitely made a huge difference in the game. And since this is your first time in here, Matt, let me know your thoughts on Cousins. What's your thought? Where do you stand on Cousins?
I'm on the all aboard Cousins train. I absolutely love what the guy can do. I think he needs to kind of hone in on the turnovers here, mainly the fumbles more than anything. But I'm all aboard that train. The way quarterbacks are going these days, the prices are just going to keep rising up. In another year, he's going to look like a value pick.
Yeah, exactly. By the end of his 3-year contract, he'll be, closer to 10 than he will to 1.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's just the way it
quarterback
goes.
pay. Yeah, exactly.
The NFL.
Exactly. Love it or hate it. So I agree. I don't look at his number that he's getting paid and be like, oh, he's got to do better. No, that's the NFL. That's the NFL. So yeah, no, I definitely improved his game. I mean, like I said, he didn't do a lot. Let's see, he only 21 pass attempts, 14 for 21. He had the 1 pick, but I'll put that a little bit more on Rudolph.
Yes.
Yeah, Rudolph blowing that block.
Yeah, that was. You got it.
You got to block that.
Yeah, it's a timing play. It's hike, boom, and you can't get your hands on the guy. That's on Rudolph.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, because he can't. Cousins couldn't really hold on. Like I said, because it's timing, he can't hold on and wait for that guy to get out of the way. He has to.
Boom.
Yeah,
bang, bang.
Yeah, exactly. It's nonstop moving. And I mean, to continue, just the whole team having a great game on Sunday. The special teams.
Yes, about time.
Nothing missed kicking wise.
Always a positive.
Exactly. And Cheryl's with a surprisingly good game. To be honest, I'm kind of leaning towards. I love Cheryl's, but I'm kind of leaning towards. It's been enough.
It's about time.
But he showed a little bit of legs this last game.
Yeah, I haven't really seen that explosiveness all season. Then all of a sudden, Sunday, there it was.
Yeah.
That's what we all knew, and that's what every announcer out there's like, this guy's dangerous. Well, if you're a Vikings fan, you've been sitting there going, where is it?
Yeah. He hasn't been dangerous for about a year and a half.
Yep.
To be totally honest, but he can still show that great. And that's why when the punter booted it as far as I did, I saw it, ooh, I said right away, he'll punt his coverage. This could be good. And he did his thing. He was just so close though. That shoestring tackle is like,
if Abdullah would have blocked him,
he was getting tired.
He was.
Yeah,
he's getting old now. Remember that.
I mean, he took it at what, like the
10
inside the 20. Yeah, inside
somewhere
the 20.
around their time.
Yeah, so yeah, he had 80 yards to run. All the way down
Not
there.
even counting sideways.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was good. I mean, he almost broke a record. I think it was like 2 or 3 yards short for most punt return yards in a game. I believe he actually holds that record too. So I mean, he would have just been beating himself. But yeah, it was just an overall good game. I don't know. Did I miss anything that you guys wanted to talk about more about the game other than, I mean, Danielle Hunter doing his thing, still rocking it. Once again, I don't want to say I'm going to take credit for him having a good year, but I kind of pushed him at the beginning of the year to be like, you got paid, show us something, because I thought he did worse last year, or he didn't do well. He
didn't do as much, but that was his first year starting too.
Yeah,
we've said this before, but I like the play out of Richardson and Weatherly again.
Yep,
Weatherly. I think, to be honest, if I know this is probably going to be an unpopular quote here, but I say either if Griffin doesn't take a pay cut, trade him or release him. Weatherly has looked really good, and we do need some cap space to sign Richardson. So,
and I do love Hunter on the right side.
Yes,
absolutely.
He's a lot.
I actually think
so much
better.
He's far more controlling on that right side.
Yeah,
and Griffin isn't as good at the run contain as Danielle Hunter or Stephen Weatherly. He's more of a just power through and get at the quarterback.
And let's be honest, Griffin hasn't been the same since he came back.
No.
And I understand that. I mean, he went through some shit, and that's totally understandable. So it's going to be key to see what happens this offseason with him and how he comes back. But I agree that he might need to take
a pay cut.
And
if we do release him, there's not much on his bonus. He didn't have a high bonus contract like a lot of people do. So
I definitely would like to get Richardson back. Matt, what's your thought on Richardson? I mean, he's been solid.
Richardson has been a solid DT out there for us. He's been able to get that interior pressure.
Yes.
I mean, when you have Linville Joseph taking up 2 guys, you need someone there, and he's been able to get the job done.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hope he doesn't get greedy. I hope he really loves the atmosphere around here. You know what I mean? Because sometimes that makes a huge difference.
Yes.
If you're in a crap organization and you don't like the atmosphere, then you're going to be
the Jets. Shots fired.
Yeah. Then you're going to want more money to deal with it. You're going to I can deal with this for a couple more million a year. But hopefully he comes at us with nothing
a
too
decent offer.
Yeah. And hopefully we do sign him because I think he likes it here. I think he sees what his defense can do with him.
He's got a brand new training facility. I mean, that should make up for those couple millions.
The guys around him, too, help him shine. I mean, Linville Joseph and Danielle Hunter on that line, he's going to see a lot of one-on-one.
Exactly. And once again, do you want to go to a team where you're now the main focus on the defensive line and you're getting double-teamed and not Joseph or not Hunter and not Griffin, but you're getting double-teamed each time. And all of a sudden you see your stats drop and then people are going to be after you for not playing up to your contract. Yep. So I think it all makes sense for him to stay. Hopefully he sees that also. Hopefully we can get some kind of a deal done. We'll let Brzezinski, our capologist, the master, do his thing for that. So let's, after the win then, before we preview the Lions game, let's talk about the playoff picture. Obviously, it's in our hands. We went out, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Next weekend, if Washington and Philly lose and we win, then we're in automatically without the Bears. I wish the Rams would not have choked against Philly because then it gives the Bears a reason to try Week 17.
Right.
Because now they just need one more loss from the Rams to slip up, and they would hopefully jump into the 2 seed. So that kind of made me mad. I was like, God dang it, Rams, especially to Philly.
Oh, I know, to Philly.
And Foles.
To Philly and Foles.
He's back.
Yeah, cockroaches. and their fan base. But But so the playoff picture is for us to lose, or for us to lose to get out of it. And I still think we can jump up to the 5th seed.
Definitely, I agree.
Because Seattle, aren't they playing the Rams this week?
Yep.
No.
Seattle and the Rams.
Yeah. So if we went out and Seattle loses to the Rams this week, we'll jump up to the 5th seed, which I want because I would rather go to Dallas.
Definitely,
Oh,
especially after they laid a goose egg in Indy.
Yep.
Yeah, and I just hate playing the same team back-to-back weeks.
2012 all over again. Then
yeah. I don't want to see Bears at Vikings and Vikings at Bears next. I don't want to see any team versus any team 2 weeks in a row. Let's switch it up. And
this isn't baseball.
Yeah, exactly. It's so the playoff picture is slowly coming out, and I think what's been interesting too. I mean, if you would have asked me last month, who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl? I would have been like Saints Chiefs. I wouldn't even hesitate.
I agree.
I think now it's wide open.
It's incredible how these top teams are just kind of caving way here.
Mm-hmm.
People are recognizing weaknesses finally and taking advantage of them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Saints only scoring 12 points.
Pathetic.
Rams doing what they did with Philly. Chiefs with the Chargers. I mean, on a short week, an away team winning a Thursday night game.
Yep.
I haven't looked through, but that's got to be one of the only ones this year, unless it was just like a horrible team against a good team. But it was the Chargers are scary too.
Yeah, especially. I mean, they won without Keenan Allen, Melvin Gordon, Austin Eckler.
Wow, that's amazing.
And one of their top corners are still out. Jason Verrett.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a scary defense. You got Jason. I mean, Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram.
They're the most complete team in the league.
Yes,
I got players at every level.
And I this is what I want though too. I know they can't. I was talking about it here earlier this week here at the station, but I want the Chargers to have a first week bye.
I would agree with you.
Why shouldn't they?
No, I agree.
Philip Rivers deserves it.
If them and the Chiefs tie and they just lose to the Chiefs because of all the tiebreakers and they're the wild card, I think the Chargers should have a week 1 bye because they have the second best record in the AFC.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. I think it makes sense. It won't happen, but I think it makes sense. But I just wanted to point that out because I've been talking about that this week. But let's get on to the Vikings-Lions game. How many sacks are we going to have this week?
Vikings against Stafford. Oh, double digits. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. 9
I
last
agree.
week against the Dolphins, but 10 the first meeting against the Lions.
That line has not approved.
No, exactly. The only difference is they're playing at home.
Yes.
So maybe we'll only get 8.
We'll see. We'll see what their run game does. That's
Yeah.
the only thing that's going to slow us down.
Exactly. And Matt, what are your thoughts? What do you think the Vikings need to do to win, and what do you think the Lions need to do to win?
Well, for the Vikings, I want to see balance. I want to keep that balance going. What we saw last week here, I need to see it again. I need to see the play calling be there. I need to see the play action off of it, and I think the Vikings can walk away with this game. Now, for the Lions to win, it's going to be Marvin Jones Jr. and Kerryon Johnson out of the backfield. You got to stop. You got to stop any passing game over to him. You got LeGarrette Blount who can come in and pound those short yardage gains. You just got to not give him the opportunity.
Yeah, no, I agree. Do you want to? Is there anything you need to add on that, DJ?
Well,
at
don't
all?
forget, is Kenny Galladay hurt or not? I mean,
He's speedy. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't pay attention to Lions.
No, but I mean that would be definitely one of the guys. He's tall. He's fast. You got to watch out for him. But to definitely for the Lions to win, you got to get to Cousins. You got to shake him up. You've seen it time after time in the games we've lost. He's gotten shaken up early, and his balance has been off. Stop our run game and make him pass.
Yeah, you get there a couple times, and he gets that phantom pressure in his head, and
Yep.
just breaks down.
And no short passes. I mean, no short over-the-middle passes. Let's run it. Let's play action. Move him out to the side and throw it deep. We saw it time and time over on Sunday. So
Yeah. No. Galladay last game against the Bills had 7 receptions for 146 yards.
Yeah.
20-yard average. So he's really surprised. I mean, they've got the Lions have some good young talent with him and
that's why they felt it was
Johnson.
safe to trade Golden Tate away. I
agree.
I know what you
That's
mean.
probably what they thought, but I still think it was stupid because he's your Chris Carter. type player that you need 5 yards for a first down on 3rd and 5. That's who you look for. That's the guy who gets that yard beyond it, and he knows how to get open.
Oh, he's the master at that in this generation right now.
Yeah, so
see it in the Vikings against overtime.
Mm-hmm. It's
look his way.
Yep, exactly. So I mean, Detroit's got some good young offensive talent. Unfortunately, they're the Detroit Lions, and that doesn't matter. They've had great talent our entire lives. Sanders, Megatron, you know what I mean? So, I mean, they just know how to waste talent.
Yep.
Joey Harrington.
Man, you call him talent. Wow.
Going backwards, bud. Going backwards.
Oh, wait. No, I didn't mean that. Sorry. But yeah, so in Stafford, I talked about it after their last game. I just feel like he isn't the quarterback he used to be either.
No. You can definitely tell age is showing on him.
Yeah, I mean, I used to consider him a top 10 quarterback in the league. I don't know if I could easily name 10 to 15 better than that I'd rather have before Stafford.
Yeah, he's middle of the pack. He still has that arm strength, but the accuracy hasn't been there, and he hasn't been on sync with his wide receivers this season. It's just been so hit or miss.
Yep. Yeah, no, I agree. It's
John Gruden's calling.
Oh gosh.
Oh shoot. So let's talk final score. What do you guys think? Matt, go ahead. You go start, and then we'll go to DJ. What do you think the final score will be for the game on Sunday?
I figure the Vikings are going to kind of pull away with this one. The running game's going to be dominant enough to get the job done. We're going to hold time of session. I think Vikings 31, Lions 17.
34-10. Just what Matt just said. Definitely, you gotta have that run game. You gotta have that balance. Defense is finally healthy, so we're gonna see a lot of blitzes again, I think. So,
and I agree with. I like both of those ones. So once again, you know, I try to choose one just to be different. So we have 3 different scores. So you know, what'd you say again, Matt?
I said 31-17.
Okay, I'll go 30-13. Right.
Switch it up just a little bit here.
Just a little tweak. Those last few points by the Lions might be just garbage points too. And you know, I'll give a shout out to Russ, who was on the show last week. He joked about. He said when we picked the scores, he wanted to say the Vikings were going to score over 40 points. And he's like, but realistically, I'll say 23-20. So we were texting during the game. I'm like, after those first 3 touchdowns, I'm like, hey, you should have stuck with your 40 point. And then we had that lull, and he came back. He's like, well, maybe it's a good thing I didn't say that. But then we came back and we beat the 40. So, you know, we'll see. One of these days, one of us will nail it exactly. We've had a few close calls, but none of us have nailed the final score exactly. But I want to see another easy win.
Definitely.
Detroit's a horrible team with a horrible city, horrible fans, horrible cheerleaders.
Just horrible all around, isn't it?
So, stole that from Common Man Dan Cole. He does that all the time. But I want to dominate the teams that we should dominate, and I'll still go back to the fact until we lose and we're out of it for the year that the Ravens a few years ago when they won the Super Bowl fired their offensive coordinator the exact same time as us. So there's a history of it.
Yes, there is.
Possibly working, underachieving offense, switching up something, and I really do love do really like Stefanski's and him being around forever, being with the team for 13 years. Yep. He's been through it. He knows what it's his time to shine.
It is,
and I really want to see it work out for him.
Yep,
absolutely. Who's going to know the strengths better than that guy?
Exactly. He's been with the team for so long, through all the different coaches. He's seen all the different styles. I think he really knows what he wants, and in the fact that Schumer left and they tried to take him from us, and we're like, no,
Zimmer knew. Zimmer knew.
Yeah.
So.
No, not going to happen.
Yeah,
not going to happen, Schumer. It would have. Who knows how the Giants would be doing if he was able to take him too.
Probably still the same.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they suck. Eli, they need to get rid of Eli.
He's around for one more year.
Yeah. Well. One more losing season for the Giants.
Doesn't mean he's starting for another year.
Yeah. They shouldn't. He should be done. If his last name wasn't Manning, he would have been done 2 years ago. Yep. Let's be honest. So, all right. Well, great final scores, guys. Let's go on and hit on up to Matt's Mount Rushmore. Who do you have, Matt, on your Mount Rushmore of Vikings players?
You're going to hear some common names here.
Oh, I'm sure, but it's great to hear everybody's versions and what they prefer.
Jumping in right here with Paul Krause. I mean, I find it hard to create this list without having that guy's name on there. 81 interceptions. He actually had 19 fumble recoveries in his career as well. 100 turnovers. 100 turnovers.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you leave that off the list?
Yeah.
2, I'm diving into Fran Tarkenton. When he came back for 73 through 76, the Vikings went 43-10-1. Sounds like some Patriots numbers here.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Number 3, I got Chris Carter. His leadership, I mean, old reliable is what I ended up calling that guy. On the sidelines, there's never any doubt.
Yep. You need those, like I said, you need that first down. He's got it. Yep.
Every time. Every time.
Yep.
And then number 4, I'm diving into Alan Page. Remember those purple people eaters?
Crooked fingers.
Yeah.
Means he played well.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, it's, hey, that's a great list. That's, not going to lie, a little surprised you have 3 players that played before you were born, before I was born, before DJ was born. But once again, we, as football fans, we see videos and we can respect.
Especially with the NFL Network. I mean,
what they've done.
Yeah. I mean, those highlights are up there for everyone to see. I mean, it's there. You got to see those in the Hall of Fame. You got to see them.
Yeah. And I've always been I've always loved Alan Page, not only him as a football player, but what he did after his career and what he currently is doing, and just a great human being. I will mention I was super pumped on Madden. They had him as one of the weekly guys, and for the power up, I grabbed him right away. Man, he's at a 90 for me overall. So I got him and John Randall as my D tackles. Oh, it's fun playing with Paige because I've never been able to play with him.
Right? Yeah.
So a little off topic there with Madden. We could probably talk for about 32 minutes just about Madden.
Do that. Coming up for the new
next
season.
Week's episode.
Yeah. So great Mount Rushmore. Like I said, I like them. Paul, Frank, Tarkenton, Chris, and Alan have been on a lot. Paul hasn't been on a lot of them, but he's been on several. And yeah, it's amazing in the passing type league that we have these days that still no one is close to his interception record.
Ed Reed was the closest one, and he retired.
Yeah,
it's
amazing. It's amazing. I mean, they're literally passing twice as much.
I think with that is just the durability of the players coming out now. You're not seeing them have these, 15, 16-year careers. They're getting injured more and more often now.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
They get to practice, 4 times?
Yeah.
Season.
Yeah. So, great. Like I said, great Mount Rushmore. We'll go ahead and wrap things up here. Just a reminder that next week I will be going on the 26th. I will be going live from my Viking room. That's my announcer voice. Not very good. No.
Beautiful.
Thank you. So, be going on the 26th. I'll be going live from my Viking room to talk the review of the Lions game, and then again on the 1st, I'll be going live again from my Viking room. So you get to, instead of just staring at the K95 logo and Fan Zone logo on the podcast, you'll stare at my ugly face. Now,
I'd rather have the logo.
Yeah, I'll say not an improvement. I know, but so thank you guys for listening this week. Please, if you can tune in live next week, tune in live to check out the podcast. So we can kind of go back and forth and talk about different things throughout the podcast. I think it's going to be kind of fun and something different. So try to be live next week. It'll be between 10 and 11. Go subscribe, hit the bell. Thank you to the Fan Zone. Thank you, DJ. Thank you, Matt, for coming in.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it. And let's win out the rest of the season and go into the playoffs kicking some butt. Thanks, guys, for joining us. We'll talk to you next week.